So these are going to be some just some bonus examples, extra stuff, extra practice, in case you need it. All right, solving these equations. So I could, add 150 to both sides and then divide by 6. But instead, sorry, ignore that in the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and factor out what I can. So I know 3 goes into both of those. Actually, 6 does too, yeah. So I'm going to divide the whole equation. I'm not just going to factor out a 6. I'm going to divide the whole equation by 6. So I get a 25 there. So if I divide by 6, this is going to give me x squared minus 25 equals 0. Now, you might already know what the answers are. I'm going to go ahead and factor it. Difference of squares. You get x plus 5, x minus 5. So your two answers are x equals negative 5 for this one, and x equals positive 5 for that one. All right, next. We have a number on this side. It's not that bad. You just have to move it over to the other side. So subtract 10 from both sides. There you go. And that does it. You're going to get x squared plus 2x. Negative 14 minus 10 is negative 24 equals 0. Okay, and now that the right side is equal to 0, now we can factor it and apply that zero product property. So two numbers that multiply to 24 and will subtract to equal 2. They multiply to 24 and they subtract to 2. So if you have that sheet, awesome. If you don't, you'll have to do what I'm doing here and list all the factors out. There it is. Those will subtract to equal 2. 6. Now, different signs because it's negative, and this tells me that the bigger number has to be positive. So the 6 is positive, while the 4 is negative. So our two answers here, x is equal to 4, and this one will tell me x is equal to negative 6. Those are our two answers to that equation. Plug it in, check your answer, see if it works. Two more real quick. All right. To solve this one, it's not even a quadratic anymore. Looks like 0 would work. Yeah. 0 times 6, 0 times 3, this will all give you 0. All right, x equals 0 is one of the answers for sure. What we're going to do to find the other one is factor out the GCF. They got a 3 in common, and they both have x's. How many x's do they both have in common? Well, this one's got 3, this one's got 4. This is the cheapskate. So we get 3x to the third. That's the biggest thing that we can factor out. All right, this is going to be, if we take a 3 away from the 6, we're left with a 2. If we take 3, so x to the third times x will give us x to the fourth. And if we take a 3x to the third away from a 3x to the third, we just get 1. There we go. And then you would solve both of these equations, okay? Or you would set each of these factors equal to 0 and solve, rather, sorry. We would do 3x to the third equals 0, and we would do 2x minus 1 equals 0. Now this one is this answer up here. Divide by 3, and you get x to the third is equal to 0. And then I guess you would cubed root. You would take the cubed root of both sides, but you're just going to get 0. Okay. For this one, though, you'll actually get a nice answer. Plus 1 to both sides, and you get 2x is equal to 1. And then divide by 2, and that's your answer. X equals 1/2, 0.5. All right, last one. All right, so we need to empty that right side, so we got to move this negative 4 over to the left side. So add 4 Okay. This will give us 12x squared plus 4x. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1 equals 0. They cancel, leaving you with 0. All right, GCF. No GCF to factor out, unfortunately. So we're going to either do the old school method or the AC method. I'm hoping you guys like the AC method. So we're going to do A times C, which is negative 12. And B is our middle term, so 4, that goes down below. We need to find two numbers that multiply to negative 12, or 12, whatever. They multiply to 12, and they will subtract to give us the 4. So multiply to 12 and subtract to give us 4. That's a 2 and a 6. This tells us that they have different signs. One's positive, one's negative. And this tells us that the bigger number is positive. So positive, negative. Now we got to divide these by 12. Sure is a lot of steps to remember. Man, 6 over 12, that's equal to 1/2, which means 2x plus 1 is a factor. This one would be negative 1 over 6, which means that 6x minus 1 is the other factor. Okay. Set these equal to 0 and solve. So here you're going to get 2x plus 1 equals 0. And then there you're going to get 6x minus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1. Well, actually here. You see how similar it is to this? You see how similar it is to this equation up here? 2x minus 1 equals 0. Yeah. 2x plus 1 equals 0. Here it was positive 0.5. Here it's going to be negative 1/2 or negative 0.5. For this one, sorry, I'm getting lazy, I'm getting tired. Plus 1 to both sides. You get 1. And then divide by 6. There we go. And you're going to get x equals 1 over 6, which I think is a decimal. It's 0.16. 1 divided by 6. Yeah, 0.1666 repeating. So those are your two answers, and those are your extra examples.